As I said in the cold open, you're our man on the can beat.
Yes.
You've been keeping track
I've
of
been
all
on the
the
phone.
hottest news.
I stay up all night, so in LA, because when it's France in the day, I'm on the phone all day talking to agents, talking to managers, talking to filmmakers, talking to actors. I'm getting the scoop. I'm speaking in French. I'm speaking a whole host of languages, but I am your man on the street.
He's
Movies
got a phone
Baby
on
listeners.
this ear. He's got a phone on that ear. He's holding
out
2 phones.
of
He's talking
control.
to a 3rd phone.
Sometimes I just stand on a boat here in Los Angeles to make the call to Cannes, just so I'm like, feel of a piece,
He's like David Geffen by the pool. 8 phones, 9 phones, 10 phones.
I built my own croissant outside of my house so I can stand and watch pictures on my iPad at night.
You built your own what?
They call the area where the festival is the croissant.
Wow. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
We're already learning something new.
But so what I've been on the phone, I've been hearing about all the movies that they're screening at Cannes this year, and it's an exciting year at Cannes, Brett. I mean, they had such a big year last year. Last year was Anatomy of a Fall, and the Jonathan Glazer movie, Zone of Interest. Thank you. Zone of Interest. They were making huge waves at Cannes. Cannes is still a big deal. It's still insanely prestigious to win the Palme d'Or, to win the jury's award, to win any prizes at Cannes, and people are buying and they're making deals, Brett. Yeah. And who's gobbling up what? A24 wants this. Netflix wants that.
I'll give you $5 for Anatomy of the Fall.
I'll give you $6 for Anatomy of the Fall.
I'll give you $7 for Anatomy of the Fall.
I'll give you. I can't do it. I can't do it.
$7. So that's Anatomy of the Fall goes for $7.
So I brought a little list for Movies Baby listeners. I have a list. I've been paying attention to what's in competition, what everybody in France is watching this week, and I bring to you Movies Baby selected the 10 movies that we are most excited for here at Movies Baby from the Cannes Film Festival. I have 10 selections from in competition films.
And this is based solely on, there might be a little promo photo or a teaser trailer, but this is really based on just sort of buzz and what you're hearing.
Oh, this is exactly, Brett. This is the early reviews paired with the industry buzz paired with the log line, essentially.
Exactly. Cast, director.
He's making a movie? Exactly.
These are the 10 most anticipated movies for Movies Baby coming out of the Cannes Film Festival.
So Cannes titillating as always, and this slate of films is no different. That being said, the reviews for all of them have been somewhat tepid. At Cannes, there's a jury of worldwide film critics that give their early impressions. It's not the actual Cannes jury, but it's a selection of reviewers, and they rate 1 to 4 stars, or an X, which means the movie was bad.
Ooh, an X. We should institute an X.
Yeah, only one film this year it has above a 3 average right now.
Wow.
And that is my number 1 pick, actually, because I love that filmmaker. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
But Brett, let's go ahead and start in on the list. These are the 10 most exciting films, the 10 films we are most excited for coming out of Cannes. Number 10 is Caught by the Tides, okay?
Caught by the Tides.
It's Jia Zhangqi's the Chinese auteur. It's his 6th time in competition. The guy is a Cannes stalwart and favorite. And his new movie is it's a fictional narrative, but he started shooting it in 2001 China, when China was bright and optimistic, and they were going to have the Olympics, and they joined the World Trade Organization, and everything was on the up and up. And apparently this film's footage ends during COVID, when China was having a really bad time and a bad look. And apparently it's this really brilliant look. It stars his wife, who's his muse, who's in all of his films. I mean, this is just getting me hyped. And apparently the footage from China across 2001, 2007, all the way up until COVID, apparently is just magisterial and groundbreaking and dangerous and exciting. So, that's my number 10.
Love it. Caught by the Tides.
Caught by the Tides. Number 9. Okay, number 9.
Here we go.
This one was bought by A24 before the festival even started, and that usually signals that the movie's really good, but apparently the reviews of this one haven't been really hot coming out of the festival. That movie is Parthenope by Paolo Sorrentino.
Okay, yes.
His new movie, his first time back in Cannes since 2015, when he brought youth in competition to the festival. This is another meditation on youth and beauty. It stars Gary Oldman as John Cheever, apparently. It's about the most beautiful young woman in the world and how she interacts with the world. And I bet it looks great and, is really male gazy.
And this is the guy who is bringing like almost like Fellini era Italian style into the new. This is like the new great Italian auteur.
He comes from that tradition.
The director of The Great Beauty, sort of Italian maximalism. He's not doing neorealism. He's doing like like late period Fellini, mid period Fellini,
like
but for the modern age. Yeah, I loved The Great Beauty.
Love The Great Beauty. I love so many of his movies. We were just talking about how we prefer him to Luca Guadagnino, his contemporary, but that's neither here nor there. Apparently, this new film is beautiful and challenging. And
did you see Loro?
No,
that was his movie about Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah.
Loro is fun. It's not. It's I wouldn't say it's on par with The Great Beauty, but it's like it's fun, and there's so much just Paolo Sorrentino nonsense in it, like people on yachts and the bunga parties, and like
sounds great.
You got to see it. It's kind of made for you.
Okay, cool. That sounds really really good. Number 8. The 8th movie we're most excited for, Bird by Andrea Arnold.
Ooh,
Andrea Arnold, the director of American Honey, of Red Road, of Fish Tank, all 3 of which won the jury prize at Cannes, okay? So Andrea's coming and she owns the town. This actually is a buzzy movie that every kid that works for every production company is going up on Instagram, and when they like, what do you like at the festival? They're always like, Bird, which makes me suspicious, but there's a catch. Everything about it makes me suspicious. Andrea Arnold, okay. Coming of age, all right. Starts a 12-year-old, and then her dad's played by Barry Keoghan. You know, okay.
Barry Keoghan, right? Hot.
He's good.
I am
He's good,
I'm seeing a name in this cast. I'm seeing a name in this cast.
That's exactly right. But I was like, okay, Bird. Okay, all the kids. It stars our guy, Franz Rogowski.
Franz Rogowski from Passages, baby. The best performance by an actor last year.
We love Franz Rogowski, and apparently he plays Bird, who's like this whimsical guy that the 12-year-old talks to. Again, sounds bad, but apparently it's great, and Franz is Franz. Franz is Franz. I mean,
he's like the imaginary friend of a 12-year-old?
You're that's way too if-coded. I'm sure it's much smarter than that.
I've got if on the brain.
Again, I didn't see the movie. This is just the buzz I'm hearing, Brett.
Look,
the buzz.
I don't want anything inappropriate, obviously. If you're not letting Franz be sexy in this movie, and it sounds like maybe you're trying to make him a little twee, I'm going to be very upset.
That's what it sounds like.
You better not make Franz twee.
It's an Andrea Arnold movie. It's not going to be.
It's not going to be twee.
It's not going to be twee. It'll be. It'll be her. All right. Number 7. I mean, this one is just This is fucking amazing. Brett.
Yeah, what do we got?
The Iranian director, Muhammad Rasulov. Mm-hmm. Please forgive me, Muhammad, if that's not how you pronounce your last name. This is the guy that made Manuscripts Don't Burn, made A Man of Integrity. He's a popular Iranian, not a provocateur. He just happens to live in Iran and be provocative. Therefore, he goes to jail all the time. It's called The Seed.
Famously conservative film industry, very hard, very like censored film industry. Abbas Kiarostami obviously always had to like be very careful in terms of how he wove his themes into his movies. Yeah.
So this gentleman, his new movie is called The Seed of the Sacred Fig. I read about his journey to bring this picture to life. It is absolutely absurd. Okay, he had to. So halfway through the film shoot, Iran heard about this movie, which is about his perspective on the country's oppressive legal system.
Wow. And
they arrested him. But there's a process in Iran where it takes 28 days for like not an annulment. What do you call it? Like a to go to the court or whatever. Yeah. So over those 28 days, he had to figure out a plan. Or he had to escape Iran. So he had about 2 hours to decide, and he decided to leave Iran. He met a bunch of guys in prison that when he was there for other filmmaking stuff, and these kids like helped smuggle him out of Iran. They had to get him all the way to the Iranian border where he met the German consulate. He lived in Germany for a while, so Germany was able to corroborate his fingerprints and like get him into Germany. Then he had this like taxing journey across Europe. He was under house arrest making this movie. He made it on a student film budget, Brett, because in Iran, if they came into our studio right now and saw all these cameras and lights and everything, they're liable to take everything away. So he had like barely any crew, apparently a brilliant DP on this movie that, is also a badass. And they had to make it in secret. They finished it in secret. And they smuggled the film and the man out of the country. Oh, I mean, that's just incredible. He was under house arrest making it. Once he left Iran, since then, up in the past 28 days, this is premiering tomorrow at Cannes, they raided the DP's office. They took the sound engineer is getting pressured. The actors are getting pressured. Everybody's getting like pressed by the government. They're all in trouble and trying to escape. Like, I never want to hear any of these American filmmakers complaining that like Amazon was rigid about like the budget.
This was the theme of Cliff Nesteroff's new book, Outrageous.
Right.
About how like the whole premise is like it's it's like cancel culture. You can't say anything nowadays. You can say whatever you want in like American media and culture. You might like be like limited in the platforms you can say it on, but you'll find a platform you can say whatever you want on. It's like you have no idea when people talk about like a censorship in America.
It's
now.
absolutely insane.
It's so silly compared to and also compared to previous generations in America. I'm not just saying this is like,
of course,
America's so great, and it's like, but previous generations in America, you think of the Hays Code in the 1930s, and
but even at the Hays Code, you weren't getting. He was sentenced to jail and lashings.
Yeah,
he was like, I gotta go. Anyway, obviously, would love to see this gentleman's newest movie, The Seed of the Sacred
That sounds
Fig.
amazing.
It sounds amazing.
An incredibly brave act to make
what
that
the
movie. Unbelievable.
I know. Everybody else from their press conferences at Cannes should be like embarrassed. Like this guy's gonna like steal the show when he gets up on stage and starts talking.
Yeah.
All right, Brett.
Numbers like, I used my wine money. Aren't I brave?
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's probably gonna show
that'll probably rear its ugly head sometime in the list. Number 6, the film that talk about buzz. This thing just was like chattering the whole evening. This one shared
like a
night.
Bees.
Number 6, Coraline Fargut's The Substance. The Substance.
Everybody's talking about The Substance.
Everyone's talking about The Substance. This director, she previously made Revenge, which you might have seen on Shudder. She made it in 2017. It's a good horror movie. In this one, she goes for like body horror satire. Demi Moore plays a Jane Fonda type, like a TV star turned fitness guru, who finds out that her boss, or longtime company that she's worked for, wants to fire her and hire someone younger and prettier. Or not prettier, but like younger and all that nonsense. So then what she does is she gets a mysterious elixir, and that creates a younger version of herself, played by Margaret Qualley, and then she can go into her body for 7 days. But if she doesn't leave that body in time, something bad happens. I'm sure something bad happens. And apparently it's a crazy body horror. I mean, right up our alley, Brett. And apparently Demi Moore is like fucking spectacular in this movie.
That's what I kept. That was the name I kept. The name I did not, shame on me, but the name I did not expect to be hearing coming out of Cannes this year,
sure.
And could not hear more of was Demi Moore in The Substance.
Apparently it's legit a great performance in a really like fun, shocking movie. And Qualley's like, I don't mean like attractive. I mean, she's so hot right now. Like she's just like such the talent. She's going to be in so many movies the next 3 years.
She's in Yorgos' new movie.
She's in everything.
Everything.
She's a good actor.
Daughter.
She's a good actor.
See it. Yeah. I also see a name on The Substance cast here, fresh off his Reagan biopic. Dennis Quaid is in The Substance.
It's going to be great, Brett.
I can't wait.
I mean, it's number 6. That's
what a bizarre, incredible cast.
It sounds great. Number 5. Speaking of body horror, what's Cronenberg up to this year? In competition again.
Tell me.
Cronenberg's new movie called The Shrouds, Brett.
Great. Love it. I saw him wearing his like fun glasses, his weird like future cyberpunk body horror glasses.
It's his wife of 43 years passed away, and this is sort of his movie that he spun out of his grief. It stars Vincent Cassel and Diane Kruger.
Oh, amazing.
Listen to this.
I love Diane Kruger.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Inconsolable since the death of his wife, Karsh, Vincent Cassel, a prominent businessman, invents a revolutionary and controversial technology that enables the living to monitor their dear departed in their shrouds.
Wow.
One night, multiple graves, including that of Karsh's wife, are desecrated, and he sets out to track down the perpetrators.
Wow.
Come on.
I love that Cronenberg confidently puts in their shrouds in
their
log
shrouds
line, as though that's a thing that we all would like. In their shrouds, of course.
And then like the image that was associated with this was sort of a Vincent Cassel standing in front of a bunch of like giant grave-sized Game Boys that are like glowing blue.
Come on.
This
sounds like vintage Cronenberg. I cannot wait.
We're going to see that.
I cannot wait. I'm also seeing Guy Pearce in the cast.
No,
Come on
it's
now.
a great cast, and it got mixed ass reviews like all these movies.
Great.
I think
that's what I want from a Cronenberg movie.
Also, that's what I want from Cannes. Like I don't want all the Cannes people being like, that was amazing. Like they're supposed to be as fucking assholey as humanly possible. That's like in the spirit of Cannes.
Yeah, don't forget that Cannes gave The Beaver like a 15-minute standing ovation. That was the movie where Mel Gibson talked through a beaver puppet.
Pretty good. Number
crazy,
4.
Margo. 15 minutes they stood and applauded for the beaver.
Pretty good. Number 4. Megalopolis.
Okay, all right, okay.
Here it is, folks. Megalopolis.
Only at 4.
Francis
It's
Ford.
dropping for you, I think.
No. Francis Ford Coppola's $120 million self-financed 40-year-long fucking whatever the hell this movie's going to be.
Can't wait.
I've heard everything about this movie, and you have too. A mad eco sci-fi blockbuster. I mean, the reviews are very funny. Some people hate it. Some people love it.
That's what you want.
But it's what you want.
Yeah.
But this felt sensible and exciting. Damon Weiss at Deadline wrote, Coppola breaks many of the cardinal rules of filmmaking in the film's 138 minutes, but it upholds the most important one. It is never ever boring, and it will inspire just as many artists as the audience it will alienate.
Maybe this.
You know what I mean?
We talked on Bergman last week about how Coppola arguably Coppola influenced Paul Thomas Anderson to create Magnolia by telling him in that fateful encounter at that restaurant, whatever you want to do it now. This is your blank check moment. Do it now. Put it all out there. Maybe Coppola is sort of having a Magnolia moment here at the end of his career.
Course, man.
Because all I hear about this movie is all these disjointed anecdotes that are hard to imagine as like a coherent whole. But I love it. I love Coppola just like trying shit. At this point in his career, it's so awesome.
And paying for all. Apparently, look,
paying for everything.
An attendee at the City Walk screening before Cannes told a journalist, quote, there are 0 commercial prospects for this film, and good for him.
God bless him. God bless him.
Do you know what I heard? I almost feel like I'm spoiling it, but I didn't see it, or I don't know if it's true. Apparently, there's a part where Adam Driver in the movie talks to a man that walks out on the stage at the theater. Like, does that mean when we go to City Walk that like the 12-year-old kid that like is the manager is gonna have to like come out and read sides for Megalopolis?
This is my question.
Because that would be fantastic.
Who is was this just for special screenings for Cannes? Because somebody snapped a photo of it, and sure enough, a guy is standing.
There is a guy. Do you understand, folks? That like is in front of the screen, like an actor in the audience.
He's living
guy
Adam Driver's
talking to Adam Driver in the movie. When you rent the
Purple Rose of
when
Cairo.
you rent the DVD, does it come with like a piece of paper so like your kid can read the side the Megalopolis?
I want to be the Megalopolis human.
Your daddy's doing Megalopolis,
I'm doing
tonight.
Megalopolis
Sit
tonight.
down. You can do the part where Aubrey Plaza pisses in 3D.
Because these things are Megalopolis is supposed to. It's gonna get like a fairly wide release, right?
No one's bought it yet.
No one's bought it. Okay.
Like
well, he could. I mean,
I don't know.
Distribute it himself through.
Apparently it's
or something.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know I don't know the infrastructure of Coppola's like business empire, but
he needs a distributor. I don't know.
Okay,
apparently he needs a distributor to market it and put
Nobody
it up all
bought
the
it.
The festival's not over yet. Someone will buy it. It's coming out this year. The IMAX guys putting it out already, and like I don't think I'm wrong, but someone will take care of this. We should finance this.
You could fully Barbenheimer Megalopolis.
We should just call a bunch of mainline dads
exactly.
and just fund Megalopolis distribution.
Not at the level of Barbenheimer, but you know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of people that this could become their Barbenheimer in 2024. You what the fuck? Buy Megalopolis. Is the price tag too high? Is he like Dak Prescott holding out for the big money?
Do you hear what we just said, Brett? There's a part where you have to during every screening you have to have a guy walk out and act during it. Like apparently there are some prohibitive stuff. Apparently there's like a 15-minute stretch that led one reviewer to say like there's a 0% chance he's going to get this to be screened.
That's really funny. That's really funny.
How crazy could it be? But apparently it's as crazy as there's an actor in it.
Well, we know Adam Driver does the entire To Be or Not to Be speech from Hamlet.
He does the entire Be or Not to Be. This movie's going to be incredible. It's of course it's actually number 1.
What's the context?
But for the gag, it's number 4. He's an architect. He wants to rebuild like a utopia, and he can control time. I'm
asking, does he do in the film? I wonder if he does the To Be or Not to Be speech. Are you meant to think that he's like really doing it in the presence of people in the scene, or is he like in a little like private moment to himself?
I can't wait. What if it's really disappointing? It's just a flashback to him in school.
Doing the play.
Hamlet play.
Yeah. It's the opening is like, I often think. When I created my future city, I often thought about playing Hamlet as a boy. And you get it's the first thing in the movie is him doing To Be or Not to Be, start to finish.
What if before every screening, Coppola goes up front of this, he's like, it would be really funny if you guys wrote crazy reviews. Just tell him fucking crazy shit.
It's like a Kid Rock at the end of that Rolling Stone interview. Like, if you can make me sound as fucked up as possible, that'd be great for business.
That's what Coppola
Don't put that's off the
like,
record, right?
All right, don't tell anybody. It's just like a pretty good movie. That's regular.
Yeah. Oh, it's on the record?
Tell 'em it's
Literally
weird.
doesn't matter.
Speaking of self-funded passion projects, this is the only film on the list that isn't in competition, but it's getting the number 3 slot because that's just how darn excited this crew is for this movie.
I know what this is.
This is Kevin Costner's 4-part, 12-hour-long epic about the expansion of the American West.
Great.
Horizon.
Great.
Horizon.
The man to tell that story in 2024 is Kevin Costner.
The director of Open Range and Dances with Wolves and Wyatt Earp. Did he direct Wyatt Earp?
Self-financed? Is that Yellowstone money?
He put up $38 million of the $50 million that it took. Apparently,
he's that liquid. That's fucking crazy.
He mortgaged his houses.
That's right. Okay, that's right. That's right. I knew there was some catch.
He was
okay.
I have 4 houses.
Yeah.
I don't need 4 houses. I put 2 of them up. He put 38.
I do need to make Horizon before I die.
Apparently, $38 million of his own money, and he deferred everything. Like, obviously, but like he didn't get paid for directing it. He's the star. He didn't get paid. He didn't get paid for. He got paid nothing. He did the whole thing like for free for himself.
Those tears, because I saw the shot of him crying during his standing ovation.
Yes,
soft,
10 and a half minute standing
tender
ovation.
Little man tears, just subtle little man tears.
You can hate all you want, but the man is putting his money where his mouth is. He put $38 million on Horizon. Would you care to hear what the reviews are, Brett?
Please tell me.
10 and a half minute long standing ovation. Here are the reviews from the people
that's not great.
From the people that
I don't think that cracks the top 50.
But no, not all time. But this year it's like number 2.
This year's been light on standing ovations.
I think they must have sent an email around.
Yeah, they said, guys.
They sent an email. They're like,
guys,
10 minutes is the new hour, okay?
I'm
Chill
mad,
the fuck
though,
out.
because I predicted, we predict the future of Hollywood
We do.
here. I predicted Megalopolis was going to break Pan's Labyrinth record, because Pan's Labyrinth, of all movies, still has the record. Look, Pan's Labyrinth is great, but what a funny movie to have the record at 22 minutes, I believe. I thought Megalopolis was going to break it.
But apparently no one likes it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You do have to like it. Like, I think you get 7 minutes of clapping for free, and then every minute after that's about liking it. But that being said, listen to these reviews.
Imagine clapping for 7 minutes?
No. I actually really stink. I'm not a great clapper. I'm a real snob about it, and I really am like European about it, and I really am careful with my claps.
I can't do more than like 7 individual claps, much less clap for 7 minutes.
No, you can't. You can't. There's no. Yeah, you would never be able to go to Cannes and clap for that much.
That's not the only reason I can't go to Cannes.
Well, and you're not allowed in France anymore after the event. Okay, so here's some funny.
Event Horizon.
Vanity Fair, more like this is a good review. Well, I'll save that one for last. Okay, here's what I'm hearing from Horizon. Clumsy slog. It plays like a limited series overhauled as a movie, but more like a hasty rough cut than a re-release ready for any format.
Sounds exactly right.
This first part of a quartet of films is littered with inessential scenes and characters that go nowhere, taking far too long to connect its messy plot threads. Any of these plot threads might have sustained an hour of compelling television, but they don't add up to much in this awkwardly stitched quilt, which rarely provides the space for anyone's experiences to resonate.
He's Yellowstone.
That person clapped for 10 and a half minutes and then wrote that. What a fucking backstabber.
The whole time they're thinking, I'm going to rip this one.
They're fucking assholes.
Great job, Kevin. Kevin, great job.
IndieWire calls Horizon the dullest cinematic vanity project of the century.
I can't wait to watch this.
That's what I'm saying. It's number 3. Look at this. Costner may have been trying to out Taylor Sheridan.
That's it. He's Yellowstone pilled.
He's like, I'll make my own 12 hours of television and call it a movie and fuck you.
Yeah, the whole time. Because can you imagine all these years Taylor Sheridan's been directing him and he's like,
fuck this guy. I made a Wyatt Earp, I think.
Fucking Dances with Wolves.
I think I made Wyatt Earp.
Did he? He definitely made Dances with Wolves. I don't know.
I think he did. It's like a long movie that seems like him.
It did.
And The Telegraph had a good review calling it Granddad Cinema.
Lawrence Kasdan made Wyatt Earp.
Oh, sorry. All right, well,
Costner's in it.
Minus one good movie. Kevin Costner.
Also in it, Dennis Quaid. The man books. The man books. Even post-Reagan, the man still books.
Apparently, The Telegraph says it's grandiose, and a lot of the reviews are like, they're all over 3 hours long. It's like, well, you meet like an insane amount of characters, and they all just sort of set up for the next part. So that's number 3, obviously.
Wow. It almost sounds like a Heaven's Gate scenario.
Will 3 and 4 ever get financed? Blah 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 blah. Apparently they've already shot some shots for it, and Costner's trying to get more money, and he's crying poor at the Cannes.
You got to find some new sell your Dodgers season tickets, buddy. You know, I saw him. The one time through like a company thing, I got tickets to sit behind home plate at Dodger Stadium.
What company thing? You work here. We never did that.
Years ago.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
I was like,
when
what?
I was in my like day job era, I was like, you know, got like an like an employee recognition thing, and they gave me like, you know, Dodgers.
That's nice.
No, it was amazing.
Behind the home plate?
Behind home plate for Phillies Dodgers. I saw Ryan Howard is a giant up close. A massive guy.
Love him.
No, it was one of the best experiences.
His bat's like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
Like it's the biggest bat you've ever seen in your life, like 50 pounds.
And sitting over to the right was Kevin Costner with his family, with his little soul patch on and everything.
He was just saying, I'm going to fuck you out of your fucking inheritance, kids. I'm going to make fucking 4 fucking
I hope you enjoy this Dodgers. This is the last time I'm taking you outside for years.
You're going to have to be buying Dad a dinner soon because Daddy's making Horizon for $38 million.
They went on the field afterwards and took photos of Justin Turner, but the way Kevin Costner just like assumes he can walk onto the field is amazing. Like he didn't wait for any permission. He just like,
he's like
Kevin Costner's like walked onto the field with his family afterwards and no one said anything.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like basic security protocols. How do you know that's Kevin Costner?
So 3, Horizon. Number 2, the second most excited we are for a movie coming out of Cannes this year. Amelia.
I'm really sorry. We don't normally do this, but Dan Vitale in the chat said "lonesome dud." Come on,
fuck you. No, that's really good.
That's really good. That's really funny.
Good. Honestly, like,
and before that, he called it Kevin's Gate. Dan's on fire.
Dan, tweet those before like the reviews come out and people steal that.
If I had the kind of money where I could give you Dodgers tickets as a recognition of your contributions, I would. But I can't.
Dan, if I had the kind of money where I could invest in your American West expansion epic, I'd give you $38 million.
There we go. But he doesn't.
But I don't, and I can't.
And if he did, he wouldn't.
But if no. If I had $38 million, none of you would see me ever again. I wouldn't even say bye.
That's so sad.
I wouldn't even say bye.
That's such a sad.
You'd come into work and you'd go.
We've been friends for going on decades.
You'll make new friends. Number 2.
What a miserable little.
Number 2.
Give it to me.
Amelia Perez. This movie is from Jacques Audiard. It's from the guy that made A Prophet.
I respect your. A Prophet is so good.
Jacques Audiard. A Prophet is so fucking good. Almost as good, actually a little bit better than the movie of his that won the Palme d'Or, Deepan. Have you ever seen?
No, I've seen
Deepan. Awesome. A Prophet, fucking amazing.
I've seen Prophet, and I've seen the beat that my heart skipped with that little French heartthrob, Romain Duray.
Well, Amelia Perez is Jacques' new one. This is described as
fumbling these pronunciations.
Listen to this. Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana are in it, and it's described as a gonzo trans Mexican drug lord musical.
Selena is in a Jacques Audiard movie.
Yeah, because Selena always picks good projects.
God, that is like, I just feel like I did the biggest line of cocaine I've ever seen. I am on fire.
Can I read this to you?
Thinking about this.
This movie begins with Rita, Zoe Saldana, a high-powered defense attorney in Mexico City who keeps finding herself on the wrong side of justice. She's contacted by Manitas, a notorious cartel boss, who makes her an offer she can't refuse: accept a fortune and live the life she's always wanted in exchange for the underground facilitation of gender reassignment surgery. And so Rita accepts, taking the money and running, while Manitas transforms into Amelia, both versions of whom are played by the trans actress Carla Sofia Gasson, to embark on her own dream life. Their lives, along with that of Manitas' wife, Selena Gomez, collide years later to explosive ends.
I cannot wait.
I mean, come on.
I cannot wait.
Guess who's going to buy this movie and distribute this and put this out? You're going to die. You're like, actually, how about this? Think of the person that you would think least would buy this movie and put it on
the Daily Wire.
Close. Netflix.
Oh no!
Apparently Netflix is buying this. But apparently Amelia Perez is great. It's like,
if you don't give this shit a theatrical release, I'm going out of that building. You got your
no. It'll get theatrical release. We're going to see this in a movie
theater.
Taking
a dump on the sidewalk.
No. We're going to see this in the movie theater. Amelia Perez, cannot wait. Love A Prophet. Love Deepan. Love Selena Gomez. Love Zoe Saldana. Come on,
so good. A Prophet is so good.
But Brett, and maybe that'll win the Palme.
Yeah.
But do you know what movie I think is going to win the Palme?
Here we go.
It's mine.
Okay, so this is not only your most anticipated movie coming out of Cannes, but also the movie you think will win the Palme d'Or.
That's right.
Okay, what do we got?
The #1 movie we're most excited for coming out of Cannes is Sean Baker's new movie,
yes!
Honora.
Yes!
Honora.
Yes.
Sean Baker.
Yes.
One of our favorite directors
Oh,
here.
the best.
Made one of my favorite movies of all time, Tangerine. He also made The Florida Project.
One of my favorite movies of all time, The Florida Project.
Which Brett and I think is the second or third greatest
A24
movie of all time.
Also made Red Rocket. Which is incredible.
And this guy is, I mean, we'll talk about later about who's the greatest American filmmaker, but Sean Baker is working on that distinction.
Joe, you know what? We will talk about that later.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to backtrack. This is so funny. I'm going to backtrack on what I told you previously. Because I thought of Sean Baker, and I was like, "This is too complicated. There's too many names."
We'll do greatest American director later, but
Yes.
somebody that would come up if we were having that conversation undoubtedly is Sean Baker.
And we're talking about like prime of their career. We know Coppola, Scorsese, et cetera, are still making movies, and they're great. But like prime of their career, active American film director. Last week I said it was PTA. But then I thought of another name, and then I thought of Sean Baker, and we watched The Virgin Suicides this week for Bergman. Sofia Coppola's in there. Like, it's just impossible. It's impossible.
This movie stars Mickey Madison in a huge breakout role. She plays a sex worker, in Brooklyn whose latest client is a 21-year-old son of a Russian billionaire. He flies her to Vegas. They have a crazy night and they get married in Vegas. And then the Russians, like consigliere, go to Vegas to hunt them down to make them break up their marriage. And apparently it's like Pretty Women meets Uncut Gems, and everyone's going goo goo gaga over it. Goo goo gaga over it. Lots of sex workers are in it, like as actors and stuff, because Sean he's carrying the torch. And what more could you possibly ask for? Apparently the movie is his best. Apparently it's very funny. Apparently it's absolutely beautiful and amazing, and apparently it crescendos incredibly. And Neon bought this when they were in post-production, because Neon, they have their eye on the ball, and they, gobbled this up the second somebody emailed them the log line. So that's my number one, Brett. Number one, Honora.
I knew he was going to come.
One.
I knew he was going to come hard after Red Rocket.
Yeah.
Because Red Rocket is great. I loved it. I think it's my least favorite of his movies.
Easy.
But that's a high bar to, that's no shade. But it's the kind of movie where I could feel he was like, oh, I should have had a little more teeth in this moment, or a little more teeth in that moment, or this was a little sort of not done. Like, it's a movie where I almost could feel him like realizing what he had to fix for the next movie, and then just coming hard with the next one.
Apparently this is a synthesis of everything he's learned, and it's just terrific. So
can't wait.
That's number one. We'll see what Greta Gerwig and her jury give the Palme d'Or.
Make the right call, Greta.
But I'd love to see Sean Baker take
any
it
of those movies, though.
Don't
give it to Horizon.
Horizon's not in competition. Now, if you want to be the coolest jury of all time, you could give it to Horizon in a twist.
I do love just a batshit insane Palme d'Or. Remember when Michael Moore won the Palme d'Or?
Yeah, yes, that. Let's do that.
Who was the head of the jury the year that Michael Moore won the Palme d'Or?
Jane Campion.
Was it?
No, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Michael. All right, I can't look it up now. But who? If the chat figures it out, let us know. Who was in charge of the Cannes jury the year that Michael Moore? Did he win for Fahrenheit 9/11?
I think so, but I don't remember.
He won the Palme d'Or for Fahrenheit.
For Fahrenheit fucking 9/11. Here's to the movies.
Here's to the movies. Wow.
Cheers. Are you hyped for these films or what?
I am so excited for all those films.
Baby.
I am so excited.